Hello families, thank you for being in the kitchen with me tonight. We are making cheesesteak pasta. This is always a big hit with all my people. So I have a skirt steak here just because that is what is left from the cow we bought. You can use almost any cut of beef, even ground beef you can use for this. So first we're going to make the pasta. Now this is a Philips pasta machine and it is super convenient. But you can definitely make pasta by hand. I made pasta by hand for 10 years. This is simply a convenience thing. So I added 250 grams of flour, and then I will add 95 grams of liquid, including my egg. And we are going to make penne pasta because that is what was requested by my little people. They like the way the penne has little ridges, and it really makes the sauce, a creamy sauce, stick to it very well. So this machine is really cool, and I really think it's an appliance worth having. And I'll talk a little bit more about it at the end of the video, and some things I think are good, and just one or two things that bother me a little bit about it. Okay, so this will knead my dough, it will extrude my dough, we'll cut the pasta, and we will get to cooking. Now I will say the pasta machine definitely makes making pasta a bit quicker. Making it by hand, I would definitely have to leave more time, or I might even do it the day before. But this takes about 15 minutes for me. You can see I have a little helper in the kitchen. I always have children run in and want to help when we are making noodles. It is probably the favored job of all the chores. They love to cut pasta. You can see you just take it and we slide it right down. And it is a little bit like pancakes. The first ones aren't always the prettiest, but they get better and better. And it will go really fast in the beginning. A lot of times I'll do it in the beginning and then I'll hand it off to a kid, but it slows down a good bit towards the end. But you can see those little ridges make some very nice ridges. And I have seen, I don't have them, but I've seen they also have bronze plates that go in the pasta machine for a bronze cut pasta. And the reason why bronze cut is such a big deal is it makes a nice rough pasta, which, like I said before, makes the sauce adhere to it really well. And there's my little person hand helping out. You can see they don't cut them perfect, but it tastes the same either way. So I chunked up my beef, and I added onions, and I'm going to add some peppers. Our peppers are frozen. We have some garlic here that's sprouting. But it's okay to eat sprouted garlic, it's just not quite as strong. So I will take everything and set it aside and put a couple slabs of butter in. I don't measure a ton in my recipes, and they always turn out delicious no matter what, but this is probably about 4 tablespoons of butter. And I know when I was a new cook, new to having a family, being married, I really wanted recipes that 100% had the exact amount. So I will try my best to give you an amount to go by, but that is not my strong suit. So we'll put a flour and butter, which is called a roux, which is a fancy schmancy cooking word for the base of all things delicious. Roux is typically the base of most cream sauces. And I'm going to add my broth. It just makes it bubble and simmer lovely. And you're just going to add a couple splashes of broth at a time, and you'll watch it get absorbed and work its way into that flour. Make a nice thick creamy sauce for us. We will then add our milk, and this is a local creamery. I showed you that label really quickly. What I wanted you to see was that this is non-homogenized milk, and so it's pasteurized, meaning it's heated a little bit to kill bacteria, but it's non-homogenized, so the cream will separate from the milk and rise to the top. Now when you're cooking with non-homogenized milk, it's really easy to break your sauce. And what that means is like the milk will curdle quicker. There's a couple things that can make it curdle. If you're using something acidic, like tomatoes or lemon, like if you're making piccata and you want like a lemon cream sauce, that will make it break. But also if the heat is too high, you can break your sauce. And that is just so unfortunate and sad to still have to start your sauce over. Now, I missed showing you adding provolone cheese. But as you can see, provolone cheese all melted in there. It's just so lovely. I'm going to turn the heat off on the sauce and let it sit. And we're going to add our pasta to our water. Now, if you make pasta with a pasta machine, you can definitely leave it on the counter, and it takes about 3 days to dry. And we will do that when we give it away as presents. We give away lots of noodles. And sometimes we use wheat flour, sometimes semolina flour from a Durham wheat berry, but noodles are a gift, and we like to give them. So you'll see I don't put my noodles in a strainer. It's an old Italian secret. You always drip your noodles, because that starchy water, you want it to still be on the noodle, because it will help your sauce adhere to the noodle better. And just like when you cook meat, you want to cook it and let it rest. It's the same thing with noodles and sauce. When you take your noodles and you put it in your sauce, you want to give it a just tiny little rest period, and it really does make all the difference. So we'll get all these noodles in, and I really like this big flat strainer. I don't know what this is called, this big flat strainer, but it's my favorite for noodles. And get it mixed in, and we'll put our meat mixture back in. I don't think I mentioned before, I just seasoned the meat and peppers and onions and garlic with some salt and pepper. And that was all. This was a big hit with my people. I had one little person who picks out the peppers, but that's okay. And dinner is going to rest and then be ready to serve. And it was just oh so lovely and delicious, especially on a cold night. So I wanted to give a little rundown on this pasta machine. Now I rate an appliance in my kitchen on how easy it is to use, but also how easy it is to clean and how quickly it cleans. This cleans quickly, and I really appreciate how easy it is to clean. So the front plate comes off, and it just unscrews. It unscrews pretty easy, but I'm holding the camera with one hand, so I seem a bit clumsy as I'm doing it. But it's really very easy, and everything just wipes right off of it. I've never had to scrub this at all, and I've been using it for quite a long time. And sometimes I can even just use the sprayer and it will all fall off, and then I'll just wipe it dry, and that is good enough for me. But as you can see, it does leave a good bit of dough behind, and that's not my favorite thing. I don't really like waste, but it is, I guess, the price of convenience. So I'm speeding up the process, but I never have to wipe here, which is nice. It always is pretty contained. And I appreciate any company that puts in little spaces to store things, and also that includes cleaning tools. I just feel that is so well thought out by Philips. So they include cleaning tools and a space to keep those cleaning tools and all your discs, which is nice. So you can see I have it completely cleaned, and this is about how much dough it, I guess you could say, wastes or does not use. It's not a ton, but you know, I guess I could say it bothers my heart a little bit, because if you're making handmade pasta, nothing would go to waste. Well, I hope this helped and inspired you for a made from scratch healthy meal for your family. Thank you for watching. We are going to try and make a video of one of our meals and put out every Friday.